All right, can you guys hear me now? I think maybe sound. Anyone? Yay, got it. Okay, well, I guess I'll start over. Good evening, guys. This is Tara with Tara Best Stamps. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Missouri, and I was just chatting away, everybody. I was saying hi to Karen and Joan and Mary, and yeah, everybody. Thank you so much for spending part of your Sunday night with me, and now I'm a little frazzled. Happy Father's Day to everybody. If you've got a dad in your life, I hope you spent part of your day with him, or at least chatted with him. I am blessed to still have my father with me, and we did a fish fry for him and Tim. So yeah, it was an amazing day. I hope you guys had a great weekend. Tonight's card, we are going to use the impression Ablooms, and I just drew a blank on what the DSP is. Oh, it's Floral Impressions. So this is a triple panel fun fold that I found this week. So it opens up to the right instead of to the left, and it showcases that beautiful designer series paper that we have. So right now, designer series paper, if it's part of a suite, it is available at buy one, get one 50% off. So it's a great time to stock up on some of that stuff. So we're going to get to tonight's card. So we're using the Impression and Blooms bundle. So this is the die set. So you've got some beautiful flowers that you can stamp and die cut, or you can use just the dies to cut those. And then you've got this beautiful stamp set that's got some really pretty fonts on it. So awesome set. I did bring in a die from the Label Me Grateful set. This is going to be a July online exclusive, and I used this die right here. I went ahead and cut these out. We're going to see if we're going to use those or not. I don't know. We'll see. We're going to play with it, make it a little different. So I do have a little bit of a different color scheme for tonight. But here we go. So we're going to use Blackberry Bliss, Petunia Pop, and then this gorgeous DSP with the beautiful old olive. So all these dimensions will be available on my blog tomorrow. So what we are going to do first is, let's see here. Let's go ahead and adhere our Petunia Pop to our Blackberry Bliss. So the Blackberry Bliss is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm adhering the Petunia Pop, and that is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So just our standard matting if you want that narrow outline. That's what you're going to use. Now, normally if you watch me, you know that I'm always going to use my Simply Score tool, but tonight I'm actually going to use my paper trimmer. And the reason is because designer series paper is so much thinner than our cardstock. So I'm going to use a thick, I'm just going to use the scoring blade. Oh, there it is. It fell off. Whew. I was about to say, nope, never mind. We're going to go ahead and use it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to score my cardstock at 8 inches. So I'm using my score blade, and I'm just going over it a couple of times, and then we're going to score it at 4. And so this is what's going to give us our accordion triple panel side. But hey, Amy, thanks for joining. But that's the reason we're doing that. I'm using that one versus the Simply Score tool is because this is so much thinner. Okay, so now I'm going to decide which side I want to be visible. And I think I feel like I need to have that old olive visible. So I'm going to fold this from the end. And I'm going to bring in a bone folder and give it a nice burnish. And I'm making sure that it's nice and even before I burnish it. Nice and even on those sides. And then I'm going to fold it back. And I'm going to do the same thing, making sure that I'm staying nice and even before I create that crease. And there's our accordion. So you could always flip it around and I guess, yep, you could open it up this way if you wanted to, but we're gonna open it up to the right. So since we're doing this pattern from the Floral Impressions DSP, this is the opposite side. So I'm gonna adhere that to our card base. Now, all these dimensions will be on my blog tomorrow, so don't worry about jotting them down. So I'm just creating a nice little edge to create those mats. And now, making sure that I have this correct. Yep, we're gonna open it this way. I'm gonna flip it over and I'm gonna put a little more seal on here than I normally would. And here we go. So I'm gonna line that up, making sure I've got a little bit of edge because we want that nice pretty peak on our border. So you can see that petunia pop. And I love petunia pop with Blackberry Bliss. I think those are perfect. Now let's see here. All right, I have a whole bunch of die cuts here. So as I said, I created this white one using the Label Me Grateful die from the bundle collection. So there's some really beautiful sentiments. July online exclusive. It'll be available July 1st. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp right in the center of it and we're going to build our flowers around it. So I've got thanks, and for this one I'm going to stamp it in Night of Navy. Now I'm going to give it a second because with these dark pigment inks like Night of Navy, Blackberry Bliss, you've got to be careful with smudging because they do take a minute or two to dry because there is so much dark pigment. So I'm going to kind of wave it around there. So I'm going to bring in some dimensionals and I'll flip that over. And if I'm careful, it shouldn't smudge. Now you'll notice I'm just putting my dimensionals on like right in a triangle right in the center. And that's because some of this stuff we may decide to slide under. So I want to make sure that I have space to slide it under and it's not hitting at a dimensional. All right. Flip that over. And I think we'll just go right in the corner. And man, I really like the Fresh Freesia one, but I'm already loving this one with the Night of Navy. We'll see how the flowers. So I did some ink blending on that. I really didn't love it. If you notice, I only did it on one. So I've got all sorts of die cuts here that we're going to pull out. So I did some Misty Moonlight. I did some Petunia Pop. I did some Blackberry Bliss. I have a peach pie left over from yesterday. I have some Balmy Blue. So I'm just going to kind of mix and match. So let's see here. Here's my centers. Let's see what I've got here. So I'm definitely going to use several of the Misty Moonlights. And I'm probably going to use at least a couple of the Blackberry Bliss. And maybe a Petunia Pop. Let's see here. I may just build off this one Petunia Pop. Okay, so the way I got these flowers die-cutted, that's not a word. Okay, what I did was the dies come in, they're separate. So you can stamp, let's see here. Here we go. So this one die cuts this. So you can stamp it, do two-step stamping, or you can layer it like this, and then somehow, there we go. Nope, that's not it. Well, somehow, I mean, do it like this. So this is what I do. Just kind of turn it. There we go. So that fits in, and you can see that there's just a small little layer, like a small little piece, peekaboo piece. I take some of Post-it note tape, which I absolutely love. So here's Post-it note tape. It works out perfect. I use this for die cuts. I use it for masking. I use it for so many things. And so basically I just go ahead and layer it on there, and then I can die cut in mass without refining out how to do that. So you'll often see my die cuts set up like that are kind of two-step, already just adhered, and I'll have them layered like that. All right, so let's get started. Probably gonna need a little liquid adhesive. Not my adhesive of choice, but it's what I've got. So I think I like that. And I think I didn't cut enough small ones. Let's see here. We can do that one. We can do that one. Oh, no. Let's do this one. This one. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's what I need. Okay, perfect. I think that's the way we're gonna go, matching them up. Yeah, I like that. All right, so I'm gonna oops. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. Okay, I'm gonna adhere these little centers. Wow. I'm having rough times putting words together. Words are hard. Okay. All right, if you ordered a spot in Karen's or my Cheers and Sips class, those kits are going out this week. So be on the lookout. All right, that's 2 weeks from today. All right, now let's see. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna layer these flowers on, and I'm just going to see how I like them. I feel like I want more of those blooms. So let's, yeah, there we go. Dun, dun, dun. So it just takes a little bit of maneuvering. Yeah, there we go. That's close to what I had, and that's what I like. So now what we're gonna do is we're going to take dimensionals. So I'm only going to move one at a time. Happy Sunday, Laura. Thanks for joining. Where are you joining from, Laura? All right. I'll go there. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a dimensional down on this side and then a little bit of a liquid adhesive on that top side. So this is where I go in and cut my dimensionals in half, because you don't need all that dimensional there. So I'm going to go ahead and set it directly onto my cardstock. And then we'll bring in Colorado. I hope you had some beautiful weather on this gorgeous, it's gorgeous here today, here in mid-Missouri. We spent most of the afternoon out fish frying. That's what Daddy wanted to do. I'll tell you, my belly hurts. Oh, too much grease. But it was delicious. All right, so I'm going to set that dimensional there. Sometimes I go ahead and put the dimensionals directly where I'm going, because then I know I can layer it and I'm not going to double stack it. All right, and then we're going to do this one just with liquid adhesive right there. And I'm going to sneak a dimensional right underneath back here. Gorgeous and warm. We haven't had a lot of really warm weather this early summer here in mid-Missouri. It's been pretty mild, which kind of scares me. Okay, so there we are with that. Super easy, very easy breezy. Okay, so these are the two die cuts of leaves from the label, what is it again? Label Me Grateful. And then all of these over here are what I got from the Impressions Abloom set. So I do love these. And here's some little guys. We're going to use those too. All right. I love some of these. Like, you wonder, like, it's a leaf. But is it really? Gorgeous leaves is what they are. And I like the tone-on-tone look with the old olive. Let's do that. Do I want to do this one down here? I kind of do. Let's go ahead and cut that bad boy up. Yeah, I want that down there. So I'm only going to add adhesive just on this very bottom portion. And you can see how I'm using so much glue. That's why I don't like liquid adhesive. I get a little heavy-handed with it. But it's going to work out. There we go. Ooh, I do like that. So let's pull this guy out. And so now this is where I have problems because I'm jamming into dimensionals underneath. So you got to be careful. All right. Here we go. We're so close to being done, it's not even funny. This one went together really quick. I guess I had a lot of stuff done beforehand. Let's see here. Do I want this here and sticking up? Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to turn that sideways and work it from the side. Let's do that one there. And maybe right there. I feel like there's enough adhesive under there to work. All right, so there we are. So there's our, let's add some of these little guys. Just kind of straggled them around here. Let's see. Doesn't take very much. We're just putting a little bit down here. Because lots of flowers, right? I should have done these in white. Ooh, these would have been really pretty with white. Darn it, why didn't I think of that yesterday? All right, let's see here while I'm gluing all of these on. What's going on in the Stampin' Up! World? Well, we've got our sweet sale. Buy one, get one 50% off. That's still a miraculous deal. So that's where you can pick up a lot of the designer series paper and your embellishments. I think that's a really great sale. Now you cannot stack it with the joining special, which kind of bums me out, but you can get the new online exclusives in the joining sale. And there's a couple of Christmas things that are so good. The painterly pears, oof, so pretty. It's my #1 go-to. I have to be careful just to not keep using it. And then beautiful embellishments. Here we go. That we're going to use tonight. So these are the Charming Shimmer Facet Dots. These are from the Charming Days collection. That's the one I used last week. Never too many flowers. That's right, Mary. Never, ever, ever too many flowers. So let's see here. I could really use any of the 3 of these colors, but I think I'm going to use that one. All right, let's see here. Let's do, whoops, he fell off. There we go. Now we'll do a little guy. Here we are. Let's do another little one. We'll put him up here. All right. All right, so there's the card front. Now, the only thing we have for the inside, there it is a piece of 3.5 by 3.5 basic white that's just gonna go on the inside. I feel like that's a nice little space for you to tell that special person that you're making this for, thank you for being a great friend. I love you. Thank you so much for being there. A nice little area. So there's today's card. Now let's get an envelope ready and we'll be done. So let's see here, just a little liquid adhesive. So very minimal stamping tonight, just a lot of beautiful die cuts. So easy, great for any beginner. And it looks super fancy at the end of the day. Well, I'll be darned, look what I did. When I made my envelope right before this, I did the wrong one for this. So this one goes with that one goes with that one. I'm like, why does this not match? I know I had one. All right, this will be available on my blog tomorrow with all the dimensions and everything. Thank you so much for spending part of your Sunday night with me. I'll be back next week. Ooh, look, I've got a wreath. This is a recycled envelope from one of my kits that I did too many of. All right, there we go. So this goes here. This goes here. And I think I like the green one the best, the one we did tonight. Let me know in the chat what you guys think. I really think the old olive one is the best. You guys have an amazing week. I'll be back here next Sunday night. Thanks for spending part of your weekend. Thank you, guys. I'm glad you guys love this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have an amazing week, guys.